Hello and welcome to ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon.
And I'm Marissa Weber. Over the past year, the village of Lake Orion has undergone some major changes. Darren McCleary was appointed village manager in July of 2013. Longtime village clerk Arlene Nichols retired after 19 years of service, and Lake Orion Police Dispatch was relocated to Oxford on January 6. And if things go according to plan, the village will undergo yet another major change this year, and this one will be a massive undertaking. Area business owners are being invited to tour Village Hall to see if it's a suitable location for future business. If a mutual agreement is reached, the village will begin the process of relocating its offices, including the police department, to this location on Church Street. Village manager Darren McCleary told us that the village offices have outgrown the current location on Flint Street, but major renovations would have to take place at the Church Street location to accommodate its new occupants.
There's a couple reasons why we are considering moving 2 blocks north to the church building. The first one is that we are in desperate need of space. As you can see from looking through Village Hall, we are very cramped in this facility. The police department especially has woefully inadequate facilities to be able to do what they need to do. The building on Church Street has a lot more space to it, has a lot more opportunity for us to expand and to provide adequate workspace, both for administration as well as for our police operations. The second reason is we would like to try to get this property back on the tax rolls and attract a destination business to our downtown. That will help to enhance the downtown experience. And so that's the other reason that we are looking at the possibility of moving.
The building that currently houses village offices and the police department was built in 1900 and has, at various times, housed township offices and the fire department. The Lake Orion DDA is working with the village to locate the ideal tenant for the historic location.
We have released a request for bids and we are looking to see who is interested. We have set the sale price of the building at the appraised value, but we'll be evaluating the developers on not just their ability to pay the sale price, but we want to find something that's going to fit in well with the business mix we have in downtown. And that is where I think the DDA comes in. We're certainly an advocate for what's happening downtown. We want to find the best tenant, the best new owner. We want to see the building preserved. We want to see the historical architecture preserved. We want someone that's going to fit in with the rest of our businesses and be sustainable and successful over a long-term period.
Ideally, the DDA would like to see a business occupy the space that would generate foot traffic in the village, such as a restaurant, but a retail store and office space would be considered as well. The building has a second story that is currently being used for document storage, but could be converted into residential apartments.
We're freeing up space on a wonderful street in our downtown, in the heart of downtown, and you really can't ask for anything better kind of economic development and creativity from the village. I think that's exactly what we should be doing, so it's pretty exciting.
Of course, all of this hinges on whether or not the Church Street location can be renovated at a reasonable cost. The village manager told us that if things go according to plan, the church built in 1854 would house the village council chambers.
Initially, our intention is to include the church, the original 1854 church building as part of the overall design and utilize that for the council chambers. But it will come down to cost. So we'll have to see once the architect does the design plans and provides us with cost estimates, we will have to see if it fits within our budget to do that renovation work at the same time. We may have to look at other options and maybe do that portion at a later date, but it is part of the overall long-term plan for that facility to have that as the council chambers and community meeting room.
The village manager wanted to remind residents that although dispatch has moved to Oxford, the Lake Orion Police Department continues to operate out of Lake Orion's Village Hall 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you or someone you know is interested in Village Hall as a possible business location, you could set up an appointment to tour the building by calling the DDA at 693-9742.
Here in Oakland County, there is no shortage of restaurants that offer fine Italian dining. But there is one restaurant in Rochester that stands out due to its authentic Italian menu, atmosphere, and staff. If you're looking for an Italian oasis, look no further than downtown Rochester. Tucked away in a plaza off Rochester Road, you'll find the Silver Spoon Ristorante. This hidden gem, named after a famous Italian cookbook, has been here for 3 years, but you wouldn't know it. The Silver Spoon doesn't do any advertising, and they don't have to. Their clients quickly become regulars. Manager Rita Lisi explains why the atmosphere is almost as important as what's on their menu.
What makes us different, we have a lot of regular that we are also friends. We make people feel like they're home, out of home, basically. When you come here, it's like you are in your house with the convenience that we can cook for you.
The Silver Spoon makes you feel like you're on an Italian vacation. And what would a trip to Italy be without some good food? Everything is fresh here at the Spoon. They get fresh vegetables from a local farmer, import all their meat and fish from Europe, and even make their own sauce. Sous chef Mauro Carrillo is following in his mother's footsteps and tells us why he loves working for arguably the only authentic Italian restaurant in Metro Detroit.
It's not the typical place where you go, the typical spaghetti with meatballs, the typical Italian. We want to stay away with that. We decide to open a menu where the people can feel like they're in Italy.
The small but cozy eatery may not stay a secret for much longer. The owners just bought a property nearby that would allow them to have a greenhouse where they can plant their own vegetables. Freshness, quality, and good company are all things close to the hearts of everyone at the Silver Spoon. Like their motto goes, life is short, eat well.
Over the past several years, many changes have taken place at Canterbury Village in an attempt to bring in as much foot traffic as possible. More and more festivals have been added to its calendar of events, and management has experienced with various expos and events at the Always Christmas store. Recently, it was announced that the Always Christmas building has been sold, bringing about major changes at Canterbury Village. Here's ONTV's Joe Johnson with the story.
Canterbury Village opened to the public in October of 1993. Stan and Sue Aldridge wanted to create a destination that evoked the architecture of England and Europe. The main anchor store was Always Christmas, an 80,000 square foot building that sold Christmas decorations and ornaments year-round. As business slowed over the past few years, management began exploring other options for the building. In 2010, Woodside Bible Church expressed interest in the building. The church currently has an office on the grounds of Canterbury Village. An offer was made and accepted in November of 2013.
Well, this made a lot of sense. You know, Christmas retail is very difficult, and when you got an offer on the table to take all 80,000 square feet, it's pretty hard to walk away from that. It's kind of a slam dunk. Obviously, when my dad opened this up in '93, retail was much different. The Christmas buyer, the traditional Christmas buyer, was still very strong, and Great Lakes Crossing was not down the street yet. Then in '98, Great Lakes Crossing opened up. All the manufacturers of Christmas started selling to big box retailers, and the specialty Christmas shops are the ones who suffered, and it's a difficult business.
The building and the parking lot to the south is included in the deal, which means the Lake Orion Lions will have to find a new location for their annual Jubilee. The Jubilee moved to the grounds of Canterbury Village in 2010 following renovations to downtown Lake Orion. There's a possibility the Jubilee may move back into the downtown area if business owners come to a consensus. Always Christmas will continue to exist, although on a smaller scale, when it moves into a 12,000 square foot building that formerly housed the Haymaker restaurant. Other businesses on the grounds, including the Sea Pub and Kings Court Castle, will remain unaffected by the change, and festivals and other events will continue to take place throughout the year.
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll close on the deal, and then once we close and the documents are all signed, we have 90 days to get out. And Woodside will be coming in. I can't comment on where they're going to put the church or how they're going to renovate the building, but I do know that they're very bullish on their count for patrons. They're hoping to open up with 1,200 to 1,500 in the community for Sunday Mass.
From Canterbury Village in Orion Township, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
Thank you, Joe. We now have to take a short break, but coming up in the news is the 5 or 5 food drive. You're watching ONTV's news. Stay tuned.
Prescription drug abuse is a national epidemic. The new in way to obtain drugs is through parents' or grandparents' medicine chests. Removing prescriptions from your cabinet is the best way to keep drugs out of the hands of our young people. We've got to work together to protect our teens, our seniors, and our environment. Clean out your medicine cabinet today. Please participate in Operation Medicine Cabinet and drop off your unwanted or expired prescriptions at one of our law enforcement drop-off sites in Oakland County. We can't ignore this situation anymore.
Welcome back to ONTV News. I'm Marissa Weber.
And I'm Kayla Brandon. Throughout the year, the Orion Art Center hosts numerous shows and exhibits featuring the work of local artists. The most recent show kicked off with a reception on Thursday. On January 30th, the Art Center kicked off its 7th annual Portraits and Pottery show, featuring the work of artists from throughout the Metro Detroit area. Dozens of pieces were submitted for the show and were judged earlier. Ribbons and $500 in cash prizes were handed out at the reception. Netting the first place ribbon was Peter Doro for his portrait of his daughter, Chloe.
She was just wearing this head around, and I just thought it was fantastic. So I asked her if she would, I took some shots of her, and then I drew it to charcoal on tone paper. But yeah, and if you knew her, like this is the one I showed it to my wife, and she's like, that screams Chloe, that's her name. It just, I captured her more than just the image of a person. So that stuff that you were saying earlier holds true. So thank you.
I think it was really amazing. We have a lot of different styles. We have a lot of different techniques. You can really see the influence of the artist. We have some really fine pieces, and I was really pleased with the submissions.
Ron Harper began his term as board director in October of 2013. Although he's been active with the Art Center for several years, this was the first time he attended the Portraits and Pottery show.
For me, it's quite neat. I'm not an artist. In fact, I've been in operations my whole life, so this is kind of a different side of the brain for me. It's been fun to meet the folks and then to see the art. I find pieces that I enjoy and that I really like, but you know, I couldn't critique them. I'm just not an art expert.
We just appreciate
them, all of them, yes.
Mike Hendricks received an honorable mention ribbon for his portrait of the two-time U.S. national champion figure skater, Alyssa Cisney. Alyssa and Mike attend the same church, and he invited her to attend the reception as well.
This is pretty amazing. I mean, being a skater, I've seen photos of myself, but to have someone do an actual portrait of my skating, I'm honored by it, and just amazed by his talent.
So we have a really active group of portrait painters in our area, and a very talented group, and it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite shows only because if you think about taking one form, the human face, and how many different interpretations can be captured by an artist, and it's just fascinating to me.
The Portraits and Pottery show will continue to be on display through March 1st. March 1st is also the day of the Art Center's annual gala. Celebrate Mardi Gras is the theme of this year's event, which will take place at Addison Oaks. All proceeds raised at the event will benefit the Art Center and the Dragon on the Lake event. For more information, visit orionartcenter.org or give them a call at 248-693-4986.
On Saturday, February 8th, ONTV is holding its 4th annual food drive benefiting the Oxford Orion Fish Food Pantry. The ONTV food drives have collected in excess of 13,000 pounds of food in the past 3 years, and this year, ONTV's goal is 8,000 pounds. The drive will be televised live from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. on all 3 of Orion Community Access channels. Local programs produced by ONTV will be featured, with local volunteers hosting live studio segments. The pantry helps many families in Oxford, Lake Orion, Addison, and Oakland Township. While many holiday food drives have already taken place in the community this season, ONTV Executive Director Ian Locke explains why this food drive is of severe importance for families for the upcoming months.
We work with the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Alliance, the travel soccer team here in Lake Orion is now on board with us. All of their teams of all ages are going to start collecting food and dropping them off for us. So we're really reaching out to different community groups, churches, schools, and so forth to try to muster as many bodies together to collect and drop off.
Okay. The annual ONTV Foodathon, which for the 4 years they've been doing this for us. It gets bigger and bigger results every year, so we're looking forward to it because this drive fills the void between November's Thanksgiving and May's postal workers, so February fits very nicely in filling a void.
In addition to the televised portion of the food drive, kids, parents, and everyone else in between can come on down to ONTV and enjoy family-friendly events throughout the day, including singers, dancers, and magicians from the Lake Orion area. Door prizes will also be available. Anyone dropping off 5 or more pantry items or $5 will have the opportunity to win one of the fabulous door prizes donated by local businesses. If you would like to donate early, there are a lot of local businesses already collecting canned goods and non-perishable food items. Local businesses include Galling GMC Buick, Sanilac Ford, Hollywood Market, Broadway Dance, Paint Creek Country Club, Lake Orion Township Hall, and the Orion Township Library. For more information regarding the 5 or 5 food drive, you can contact ONTV at 248-693-3377 or visit their website at orionontv.org.
In 2013, Oxford Orion Fish celebrated 40 years of service to the residents of Oxford, Orion, Addison, and Oakland townships. The organization depends heavily on the generosity of the community to continue to serve needy families. The Fish Food Pantry is located on 1st Street in Oxford Township, just off of M24. It was the first self-serve food pantry in Oakland County, allowing families to shop as if they were at a grocery store. 140 to 160 families are served, equating to approximately 375 individuals who consume 12 to 14,000 pounds of food and household items every month.
By far the majority is, of course, strictly word of mouth. We've been here 40 years. People know we're the food pantry, so when they run across somebody in need, they refer them to us. Love Inc. refers to us, local churches.
Area families can visit the Fish Food Pantry Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Upon the family's first visit, they will be given a 1-month supply of food based on the size of the family.
We do what we call a client review. It covers the basics of income versus expenses versus size of family. We use 150% of federal guidelines as poverty line and so on. Mash the numbers, and by far, I would guesstimate in excess of 95% of the people that come to us qualify.
The food pantry depends heavily on donations from the community to keep their shelves well stocked. There are several food drives that take place throughout the year that benefit fish, including the Postal Carriers Drive that takes place in May and the school's food drive that takes place around the holidays. As the supplies gathered over the holidays begin to dwindle, donations are sorely needed this time of year, and not just food. Personal care and household items are needed as well.
The things that are on our wish list are basically the same, because what is popular and necessary is popular and necessary. The largest category would be the canned fruit section. Pineapple, peaches, pears. Goes fastest of most anything. We can always use, unusual for a food pantry, but it's part of a household, so we do try to supply laundry detergent, dish soap, personal care products, toothpaste, shaving cream, so on, which is actually not food pantry. But the more we can offer our people, the better variety they have.
Fish also appreciates cash donations, which allow them to purchase perishable items that need to be refrigerated and to maintain the building and keep the utilities going. Keep in mind that no money goes towards staff or salaries. Fish is entirely run by volunteers. Those you see stocking shelves are students earning community service hours and representatives of area churches and community groups.
We have primarily two big areas of volunteerism, and that's the office workers that work downstairs in the office, usually one, maybe two shifts a month from 9 to 1. And they take all incoming phone calls, direct people, set up their appointments, etc. And the other half of the volunteers are the people that actually work the pantry. And the pantry is open to the clients 1 to 5, Monday through Thursday. And they're here to help them shop, weigh out their groceries, because the amount of groceries each family gets, of course, is based on size of family. So we weigh them on out, and those are the two big areas.
If you know of someone who could benefit from the services offered by the Fish Food Pantry, or if you'd like to donate or volunteer your time, visit their newly updated website at oxfordorionfish.org or give them a call at 248-628-3933. Office hours are from 1 to 5 p.m., Mondays through Thursday.
The high school hockey season's wrapping up, and the Dragons find themselves in the driver's seat in their division. Lake Orion was looking to clinch at least a share of the OAA Red title on Saturday, January 25th, but they would first have to defeat crosstown rival Clarkston in a division showdown. Lake Orion entered the night with a 14-2-1 overall record, with their only tie coming the night before against number 3 ranked Rochester United. Clarkston came into the game struggling, losing 2 in a row and sitting at 10-5-1. However, Clarkston got off to a quick start with Jacob Laporte scoring a shorthanded goal at the 8:58 mark of the first period. Just 2 minutes later, Chase Weedman put Clarkston ahead by 2, slipping the puck past Lake Orion's netminder Logan Aldrich. With less than a minute left in the first period, Clarkston would strike again. This time, it was Carter Ray scoring on a wrist shot in front of the net. Clarkston went into the first intermission up by 3. The score stayed the same in the second period, with both teams failing to tally a goal. With time winding down in the third, Clarkston's Kyle Hogarth put the game well out of reach, weaving through 2 defenders and slipping the puck through Aldrich's 5-hole. With the win, the Wolves exact revenge for their tough loss to the Dragons earlier in the season at the Winter Classic. They improved to 11-5-1. The Dragons will have to wait to clinch the division, but they still sit in first place in the Red with 9 points. They fall to 14-3-1. You can catch replays of this game airing right here on ONTV. Just check our website's program guide for air times. You can also watch this or any other game from our vault on our YouTube channel. Visit ONTV.org and click on the YouTube link. For ONTV News, I'm Marissa Weber.
And I'm Kayla Brandon. On behalf of the entire crew, thanks for watching.